Welcome back to Squawk Box. I want to get right to our next guest here to talk markets, the economy, the Fed, deal-making, M&A, AI, healthcare, and so much more is Peter Orszag. He's the CEO of Lazard, former director, of course, of the Office of Management and Budget under President Obama. And I always think in this role you have your finger on the pulse of the corner office of businesses around the world, frankly. And I think we're all trying to figure out where things really are. We'll get some jobs numbers later today. But where do you think things really are right now?
I think things are good. Confidence is high, but we also are living in a bifurcated world in which the U.S. economy in particular is increasingly a levered bet on AI. So the AI parts of the economy are booming, and the rest is, I'd characterize as going sideways.
And so do you believe, though, that this sort of AI boom is filtering, cascading through the rest of the economy, or do you think it's genuinely concentrated? I mean, there's sort of two views. One is, yes, the money is concentrated, meaning coming through the system, but it's actually making its way through the system or not really?
Not really yet. And I think the way this bet will play out just simply is either it'll work or it won't. If it works, top line growth is probably going to be okay. But I'd say we probably will have a jobs crisis because labor markets deal well with small problems that happen fast or big problems that happen slow. They do not deal well with big shocks that happen quickly.
You think a jobs crisis is coming, therefore?
Well, if the AI pulls off, pays off, I would probably put my money on that. The alternative is this is all overhyped. We're going to wind up with the equivalent of an inferior version of dark fiber, and then even top line growth.
How do we hedge against that? I mean, if
there has to be a third option. I want a third option, right?
But by the way, you're investing even inside Lazard in a lot of AI. Do you think it's changed the jobs picture inside of Lazard itself?
Not yet, but I do think it's going to allow us to take the analysts and associates and even the VPs and upgrade their skills more quickly. And then the question becomes, how are you training the next generation of managing directors?
But is that less? I mean, one of the things we're seeing is kids out of college are actually having a much harder time getting a job. And is that a function of some of these white-collar jobs where folks in your role may say, you know what, maybe we don't need as many analysts as we used to have?
Not really at Lazard yet. It may be true in professional services. There definitely are anecdotal reports of that.
Last week at the Goldman Sachs conference, there was a figure, you're going to increase productivity per managing director by $1 million. And is that AI? Like, how do you do that? Like, what does that
was very specific. I mean, we've already increased productivity by more than that. So I just finished 2 years as CEO of Lazard. By the way, more than 80% TSR, total shareholder return. So we're off to a great start. Very excited about the future. That was very specific about what happens when you bring a lot of new managing directors on, because we've been doing that.
So just training them up.
And as they ramp up, you get a productivity benefit because the first year or two or three on a platform, they tend to be less productive than once they get settled in.
How do you think about that, though, when you overlay AI on top of that?
Oh, I think there's a lot of opportunity. If you think about it, if we could have our bankers walk into a boardroom, not only with their own wisdom and knowledge, but with the collective wisdom and knowledge of everyone and everything across Lazard, that is a massive advantage, and that's what we're aiming for.
I want you to weigh in, if you will, on this Federal Reserve situation.
Sure.
We've been watching the prediction markets. Kalshi now has Kevin Warsh just above the other Kevin Hassett. Kevin Hassett, by the way, is going to be on Squawk on the Street at 9:15 this morning. Who, just straight up, is there somebody you'd prefer?
I know both of them well. I think they're both more than qualified. I think the key question is, how do they perform in the job? They are both perfectly capable of being a independent, wise central banker. The question becomes, how will they behave in the job? And that, I think, is actually really hard to know ahead of time for anyone.
What do you